Hare Krishna. Welcome, everyone. You can see that I'm in the dark except for my spotlight here. That's because the power just went off. We have a storm in Mayapur. But when it comes on, we'll see. In any case, storm or no storm, we're continuing with our series on celebrating Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. And today, our very, very, very special guest, I'd like to welcome His Holiness, Lokanath Swami Maharaj, who's coming all the way from Pandharpur. And Maharaj, I don't believe has any storm going on there, although you did have a flood earlier this year. We saw pictures of the water all the way up through the temple. Maharaj needs no introduction, really, but just in case, there is one new introduction that we can make, because now this year Lokanath Maharaj has become the minister for Harinam Sankirtan, as well as being the minister for Padayatra and being one of the stalwarts of our India Yatra here. So we especially invited you, Maharaj, to speak today and help us to go into the element of kirtan in Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. So this is our topic, the holy names, the crest jewel of the age of Kali. So Maharaj, maybe to start us off, you'd like to give us a Mangala Charana? We can have some auspicious leading.
Mangala Charanam. Yeah.
Or Hare Krishna mantra, whatever you like. Just however you like to get us started. You can.
One day. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Offer our humble obeisances again and again at the lotus feet of Panchatattva, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam, Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam, Bhaktavatar Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Also, obeisances unto Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sahodito Gaudodaye Pushpavanto Chitro Shamdo Tamo Nado.
Yeah.
Also, Ajanu Lambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaikapitaro Kamala Yataksho Vishwambharo Dvijabharo Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshe Tharine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you Pancharatna Prabhu, thank you SPT, GBC's SPT for celebrating Chaitanya Charitamrita, and you want discussion on what the crest jewel. Holy name of God. Crest jewel.
The crest jewel. We were talking earlier today about how, the holy names of Krishna, that they appear from even before Mahaprabhu appears, right? So please take us through Chaitanya, the holy name in Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. Take us from the beginning. How and walk us through the appearance and the comings and goings and flowerings and dancings of Harinam throughout Caitanya Charitamrita. And by the way, from time to time, I may just sit back and watch and just put you full screen, you see. So if you don't see me, I'm just sitting back and listening, okay?
Be around, don't leave me alone. I need you.
I'll be
Ekaki amar nai pai bal. Harinama Sankirtane by myself. I cannot do this. Help, help.
Yeah.
This is also congregational chanting, so more the merrier. So
Please, maybe your computer needs to be just leaned a little bit towards you, so your head is a little more on this. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great.
yeah,
Wonderful.
so Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatar, right? You heard this before? Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatar.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
not only Gauranga appeared, his avatari on Gaur Purnima day, but before, kind of, Lord was very anxious to get there, so he appeared during the day in the form of the holy name. And all over Navadvip, on the banks of Ganga that day, there was a roaring, Har Har Gange, or Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hari,
Krishna
Hari,
Krishna,
Hari,
Hare
Hari,
Hare,
Hari.
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So that happened during the day, and then that evening, moonrise time, then Gauranga appeared, and well, demigods also were busy up there in the sky, also chanting the holy name of the Lord and welcoming the Lord. And the appearance of Lord, the news spread. Well, I mean, first one to know that Lord has appeared were uh, Haridas Thakur and Advaita Charya. They were in Shantipur, but they are all knowers. So they started in Shantipur. They were jumping up and down.
They started
Everyone
dancing.
was wondering. They were wondering what happened. Why are you happy? Why are you chanting, dancing? And so because they knew that Gauranga has appeared, and so the whole world was getting excited as Mahaprabhu appeared. Well, there during his childhood days, as Gauranga was still in the cradle, and well, as children cry, so Gauranga Mahaprabhu is a Nimai. He was crying one day, and Sachimata started singing Hare Krishna, and child stopped crying. And the news of this spread around the locality and neighborhood, and ladies were coming in big number to check out whether this is true. Does this happen when Nimai crying and then someone sings, he stops crying? So they were coming to check out, and if Gauranga Nimai or Vishwambhar was not crying, they would make him cry. They would pinch him or do something. And then as he was crying, then they would sit around and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And as soon as this Hare Krishna was there, crying Nimai would begin smiling and laughing and be joyful. So Mahaprabhu was kind of letting the world know what is the future, what is coming up, or what is he going to do when he grows older, and he becomes Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now he's only Nimai. So I was thinking today is a disappearance day of Ishwar Puri. Okay, then as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was growing and that Jagannath Mishra was getting older, and then he departs, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to Gaya. That is where he meets with Ishwar Puri. He had met Ishwar Puri earlier also in Navadvip and received some siksha, and now he receives diksha in Gaya. Receives the mantra, and there was a total transformation in Gauranga as he begins chanting. Kind of instantly, his love for Lord was revived and it was thriving, and he begins running to Vrndavan. Where is Vrndavan? So they had to stop him from running to Vrndavan and bring back to Mayapur, Navadip side. So on the way, he was no more Nimai Pandit. He was known as a Pandit, scholar, and debating and doing Shastrarth and defeating, and all those his associates and his classmates, they were kind of wondering and praying, when would Nimai become Bhakta, devotee? He's just a Pandit, he's just a Jnani and a scholar. So their prayers were heard by the Lord as he had received the mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, Gopal mantra in Gaya. I mean, this is the arrangement of Sri Krishna, in fact. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, in Golok, Sri Krishna is planning his next descent, appearance as Gauranga. So Krishna had dispatched several individuals way in advance, Advaita Charya and Srivas Thakur and Namacharya Sri Advaita, like that, including, of course, Madhvendra Puri and Ishwar Puri, Sachi Mata, Jagannath Mishra. All they had kind of some 30, 40, 50 years prior to Gauranga's appearance, they had made their appearance, and they were going to play different roles. So here Madhvendra Puri, well, he is a kind of a founder of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, the super excellence of Gaudiya Vaishnavism that we're talking, the last session that we did. So it comes from Madhvendra Puri, and Madhvendra Puri and then Ishwar Puri are, Madhvendra Puri like a seed, and Ishwar Puri, whose disappearance we are celebrating today, is like a seedling. From seed comes seedling, sprout. And the Gauranga Mahaprabhu becomes the trunk of that tree. And then there are branches and this and that. And so we are also part of that tree. We are like some leaves or the fruits, flowers. So it spread. So it started with Madhvendra Puri and then Ishwar Puri and Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai and the holy name Ki Jai. So as he was back in Navadvip now, and there was a total transformation or revolution in consciousness, and the way Mahaprabhu was observed in chanting and dancing, they were calling him madman. What has gone wrong to him? Put some oil, cool him down. But that was not. The holy name was making him chant and dance and roll on the ground and shedding tears and getting stunned sometimes. And so Mahaprabhu himself was kind of wondering, hey, what has happened to me? This holy name is like taking over, overpowering me. So he was now again addressing his Guru Maharaj one time, and he said, Kiva mantra dila gosai, kiva thara bal, japite mantra karila pagal. What kind of mantra have you given? There's so much power in this holy name that I have become madman. So this is the same as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sikshastak he had written. Yeah, he will be writing later on as he goes to Jagannath Puri, Nam Nam Agari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. All Shaktis, the energies are invested in this holy name. So it is powerful, and it is a nectarian, and it's a crest jewel, right? Chaitanya Charitamrita also describes how, when Krishna appeared, he also had appeared with the crest jewel and all the opulence of Golok and all the nectar of Golok, all this treasure. But the difference was Sri Krishna and Radha, they were only relishing all that, the madhurya of Vrndavan. And then as a Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and now also joined with the other members of the Pancha Tattva, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 7th chapter describes how these Prabhus, the Pancha Tattva members, they broke the seal. Inside there's a treasure, crest jewel, the most valuable gift, which is also described as Golokera Premadhan, Harinama Sankirtan. Golokera Premadhan. Dhan means wealth. Gauranga Mahaprabhu came down with the Krishna Prem. The holy name is that Krishna Prem. Nam nache, jeev nache, nache Premadhan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also writes this in Harinam Chintamani. Nam nache, jeev nache, nache Premadhan. The living entity dances, the holy name is dancing. Jeev nache, nam nache, nache Premadhan. The holy name is dancing, holy name is the Lord. So this treasure, Gauranga Mahaprabhu and associates, they have brought down with them. Now they are breaking their seal and they're relishing all the contents, all this nectar. And not only that, they were sharing this freely to anybody, everybody. So I did start, of course, in Navadvip, but then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that he wanted this, the gift, this treasure, this crest jewel of the holy name, reach every town, every village, so that people will become enriched. So Kirtan started kind of officially at Srivas Angan, which is just a few hundred yards around the corner from Yoga Peeth at Srivas Angan, Srivas Thakur's. And the nocturnal Kirtan started, but the special feature, or there were restrictions. There was kind of screen at the entrance, screening. If you're pure devotee, okay, you are welcome. Any other tinges of jnana, karma, this, that, out. So those kirtans were going on with the members of the Pancha Tattva and other pure devotees had a privilege of chanting and dancing and whatnot, whole kirtan scene there at Srivas Angan. One thing was Advaita Acharya, although he was also enjoying, relishing, roaring his hunkar and the way Advaita Acharya would dance. He's a great dancer when it comes to kirtan and dancing. And so he was wondering, what is this? I prayed for Lord's advent, and he has kindly responded to my prayers, my call. He is here. But I wanted him to, I had seen what dharmasya glanir bhavati. There was a decline in religious principles. There's a time for Lord to appear. So he has appeared, and the Sambhavami Yuge Yuge Dharma Samsapanarthaya, he comes and he establishes dharma of that particular age. So the Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan, but he is not spreading that around. He is not sharing, establishing this. He is only busy. And if he had to do just this, what was need for him to come down? He could have stayed up there in Golok and continued his chanting and dancing and with pure devotees. So one day there was a special appeal at the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and then by Advaita Acharya. Okay, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came out on the streets and then Udilo Aruna Pura Babage Vijamani Gora Amani Jage Bhakata Samoha Laya Sathe Bhakata Samoha Laya Sathe Gila Nagara Braje. And that all started early morning hour. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would take thousands of his devotees, associates with him, and Tathai Bajela Kol Khana Khana Tahe Jhanjeri Ro. Bumpers are playing, the drums are playing, and Sonarange and Gauranga Mahaprabhu is in the forefront dancing. And he has Charanena Puravaje, and he, around his ankles there are ankle bells, and Ajanu Lambita Bhujao Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his raised arms, he is now dancing all over Navadvip. And of course, as we said, Panchatattva means Nityananda Prabhu also had joined just earlier, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sannyas happens, not sannyas, the initiation in Gaya happens. Nityananda Prabhu also had joined, so Nityananda Prabhu is also chanting and dancing with Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And then comes the sannyas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes sannyas in Patwa. Nityananda Prabhu is there, and few selected Prabhus also attended their ceremony. And when he was given the sannyas Diksha, and your name is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, they have it done. And he's given name Sri Krishna Chaitanya, means, he is life, right? Jad and Chetan. He's a Chaitanya, and the kind of chanting and dancing Mahaprabhu did in the middle of this sannyas ceremony, that his kamandalu and tridand was flying all over, and Mahaprabhu was he was free to preach, free to fly. Now no bonds, he has taken sannyas, all strings attached are all detached, and that was quite a kirtan there at Katwa, which was, of course, people from nowhere, they attended, and thousands were in attendance. Then Mahaprabhu, and then what? Okay, taken sannyas. Now he wants to go to Vrndavan. Which way is Vrndavan? Which way is Vrndavan? And then he was tricked by Nityananda Prabhu and assisted by Advaita Acharya. He ends up in Shantipur. And this is where, the residents of Navadvip, especially Sachi Mata, they all had come. And the kirtans there also were very, very extraordinary. And Sachi Mata used to watch her Nimai dancing, and Mahaprabhu would fly high in the sky, and then he has no external consciousness, and he would be dropped on the ground from quite a height, crashing down on the bare ground, hard ground. And Sachi Mata, to watch that scene was a heartbreaking experience. And we read how Sachi Mata was praying to Bhumi Mata, Mother Earth, please, whenever my Nimai is in ecstasy and dancing, Mahaprabho Kirtana Nritya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manaso Rasena. As we sing this, that Mahaprabhu Kirtana, Mahaprabhu would not only do Kirtan, or whenever he did Kirtan, it was always accompanied by Nritya. Mahaprabho Kirtana Nritya Gita Vaditra, means instruments are being played. And as this happens, then romancha, trembling in the body, kampa, ashru, the tears, and all this would happen. So especially in Shantipur, it was too much for Sachi Mata to observe what was happening to her Nimai, and she was praying to Mother Earth, please help my Nimai, take him in your lap, O Mother, as he comes down from heights. Then Mahaprabhu proceeds to, as desired by Sachimata, he wanted to go to Vrndavan, but Sachimata said, no, that's nothing doing, that's too far away. You be better in Vrndavan, in Jagannath Puri. So Mahaprabhu is heading for Jagannath Puri with a selected number of devotees. And this is what we understand. Mahaprabhu's his life was full of chanting and dancing. Now, from the time he received this mantra, he was initiated by Ishwar Puri. The Sankirtan movement started. He started moving, right? He started moving all parts of his body. His soul was stirred up and he was moving, and physically also moving, going from place to place and spreading the movement all around. Radha Aravade Yebe Gora Avatar, Hare Krishna Nama Gaur Karila Prachar. So now it's going to be Madhya Leela, and for 6 years, Mahaprabhu, he does go to, of course, arrives in Jagannath Puri, but he spent only 2 months or so, and on the way there also, Mahaprabhu, point is, he's always chanting, Kirtani Sadari, Khaite Suite Ram Nam Loy, that was his mother. Khaite Suite Nam Loy. You should, while you're Khaite eating, Suite sleeping, you always chant Hare Krishna. This was Mahaprabhu was inspiring everyone to do, get into the chanting, and he was himself setting the example. He would also chant Krishna, 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 He, Krishna, 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 Pahima. And he's chanting and dancing. He never walked. Mahaprabhu never walked. He only danced and moved forward. And that, like we hear in Golok, every word is a song, and every step is a dance, and that is what we see in life and teachings of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then, after spending only 2 months in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu goes on a big, long tour of South India and everywhere. And people are watching him on the way from one town to another, or one village to another, or in between villages and towns. Mahaprabhu is chanting and dancing. And, he is a magnetic personality, supreme personality of Godhead. Ya Karshati Sa Krishnaha. Well, he is the one who attracts all the living entities. And he is most beautiful also. That is one of his opulences. And Now his beauty would kill any demoniac nature or consciousness as they saw him, that Gauranga Mahaprabhu with raised arms and Sundaralala Sachidulala Nachatase Hari Kirtaname. The Sachidulal is dancing in Kirtan. Alakasho Kapolaname. This must be while before taking sannyas. His alaka, his hairs are now they kind of partially cover his face. Sundaralala, and there's a whole description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's dancing, and he was big-bodied, like you see in Mayapur Panchatattva. You see that size, and see the Gauranga in the middle. That is a life size. That deity is a life size deity of Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as he was, and as he would arrive, okay, on the way also, as I was saying, that people were getting attracted to Mahaprabhu, and they would try to go along with him, but Mahaprabhu would stop them, embrace them, and say, please stay here, please stay behind. Because he preferred going by himself, and with great reluctance he had allowed Krishnadas, only one person, to accompany him. So then every village, as he would, maybe he was skipping some villages and then reached in the evening a particular village, and every village in the evening there was a performance of Maha Nama Sankirtan. Mahaprabhu is going around, and he is not so much doing any giving a lecture or a bhashan or a talk. He is only walking the talk. He is only, or is talk less and sing and dance more. That was his policy. And so each village, he would perform the kirtan. And the population of that particular village was, say, 3,000 people, but he would get 300,000 people attending his evening Maha Sankirtan. So people from nowhere, with no ads and banners and posters or SMSs, were not going around, but people were turning up in a large number. Hari Hari. So this is a mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He's in the heart of everybody. So, he just has to give signal, okay, come here, I'm in this village, let's do kirtan together. And so people were turning up, and Mahaprabhu would sing and dance with them. There are thousands and thousands around him, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu is in the middle. He is very tall, right? He's very tall, first of all. And he will raise his arms also. And he's a golden complexion personality. And then in the middle of Kirtan, he would also do his Udanda, flying high Kirtan. And so it was very convenient for all assembled. Mahaprabhu, he didn't have to go on the stage so that everyone could watch or see him wherever he was in the middle of the crowd. He would stand out because of his height and the raised arms, long arms, right? Arms reaching his knees, ajanu lambita bhujo, and very beautiful. And when person dances, then he becomes even more beautiful and more attractive. So he was getting everyone's attention, and they're all watching him. Of course, he didn't want them just to, okay, I will perform and you take your seat and watch me. No, Mahaprabhu wanted them also to chant and dance along, and then he would inspire them saying, Hari Bo! And they would all jump high, and as if then he would drop them, okay, down, up and down, Haribo, and everyone is up there with the raised arms. And so he would, like that, Mahaprabhu was spreading Yuga Dharma all around, everywhere. And so he's back in Jagannath Puri, and then, oh boy, the kirtans at Jagannath Rathayatra were out of this world, very exceptional and extraordinary, because Mahaprabhu is here during Rathayatra. Yeah, Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita, of course, there's whole chapter, Mahaprabhu dancing in front of the Jagannath cart, and Mahaprabhu is now, Jagannath Puri meant, he's in Radha Bhav. He's in Radha Bhav. And his Radha's Lord is in the chariot, Jagannath, and they are both reciprocating with each other. And Radharani is singing and dancing for the pleasure of Lokanath Swami. So, as I mentioned earlier, the Udanda Kirtan in Jagannath Puri in front of Jagannath's chariot, the 10 of them, that of course included Mahaprabhu himself and Swarup Damodar, they were all sing. Their leader, 10 of them, they're moving also all around and they're singing. And then there are so many parties around, parties on either side of Jagannath cart, one behind, the front, and they are following. So as Mahaprabhu is also singing and dancing, at some point he's taking darshan of Jagannath in the chariot and is offering his prayers. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. And he's singing Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandana So Jayati Jayati Krishna Krishni Vamsha Pradipaha Jayati Jayati Krishna, like that. And he's Kiva Vipra Kivanyasi, not that one. Yeah, I'm not Brahmin, I'm not this, I'm Dasadasa Anudas. So he's offering prayers like that, and he's in a whole ecstasy, like a stunned, and his eyes are not even blinking, and he's fixed on Jagannath's form, his whole attention. And then there's more dancing after offering prayers. And Mahaprabhu, he goes round and round. Not that he's running around, but he's spinning around and then making a round also. And he's moving so fast, like a lightning, that it appears that he is everywhere at the same time. Prabhupada translated this like a firebrand. You have that mashal, torch in the hand. It's only one mashal, but when you move very rapidly, fast, you see that that torch is everywhere. So Mahaprabhu also golden form, like a molten gold complexion, so looking like a fiery. And in the middle, he would jump high in the sky, and then coming down again. Then he's rolling on the ground, and Nityanand Prabhu, now he has to catch up with Mahaprabhu all the time. He is a support system. He wants to make sure Mahaprabhu is supported. He doesn't collapse, doesn't fall. So he has to be next to him. And Advaitacharya is behind and say, Haribol, 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 Haribol. It's inspiring Mahaprabhu to go on, Haribol, Haribol. And so that's quite a scene. I mean, nothing like this in this world we get to see and or read or hear, except this we find in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita is a glorious, and that's why we are celebrating Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas, especially his Kirtan Leelas, are described. And this is, okay, the other thing is, the Mahaprabhu, all the bhavas, sattvic vikaras, ashta sattvic vikar, the manifestations of ecstasy are very much visible in his personality, trembling of the body and perspiration and tears, especially tears, Tears are not gliding down his cheeks. The tears are like a syringe, They are going few hundred meters into the crowd. And as Mahaprabhu makes round, everyone is getting a shower of the tears of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the ocean of tears, and everyone is drowned in that ocean of tears of Mahaprabhu. Hari Hari. So those kirtans in Jagannath Puri were amazing. This is my most favorite kirtan pastime of Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Puri. Okay, then Mahaprabhu he finally wants to go to Vrndavan. And on the way to Vrndavan, he has to pass through the Jharkhand forest. Well, so far he had tried his chanting on the human beings, and it had worked. They had developed, the love of Godhead just by chanting and dancing in association and company of Mahaprabhu. Now the turn of the forest animals, or the birds, the tigers, the deer. And here Mahaprabhu, he did jungle mein mangal, as they say. An auspicious thing happened. And he was on the way through the forest. The tigers are sleeping. I don't know what time they sleep. They were early morning hour, they're still sleeping. And Mahaprabhu, hey, get up! And the tigers were opening their eyes and went, hey, who are you? And they were jumping up. And more and more animals were joining the party. And then there were birds in the sky. They are doing their kind of song and dance. And Mahaprabhu is watching now. Look, the deer and the tiger, they are rubbing shoulders, going and next to each other. No fear, no nothing. They are fearless. They are even friendly. Mahaprabhu is watching the deer and the tiger. They are embracing each other. Not only that, they're kissing each other. And when Mahaprabhu saw that, Mahaprabhu started exclaiming, "Oh, Vrndavan, 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 Dham ki jai." He was reminded of Vrndavan. Oh, this is only possible in Vrndavan, where there's no enmity. Everyone is so friendly with each other. So although he was on the way to Vrndavan, this midway, but he thought, this is Vrndavan. This is Vrindavan consciousness. And Mahaprabhu proceeds to Vrindavan. He is in Vrindavan now. Well, before Vrindavan is in Mathura. He goes to Krishna Janmasthan, takes darshan of Keshav Dev. And when he had darshan of Keshav Dev, and by that time, whole Mathura town came to know that some Mahapurush is here, some amazing personalities in town, because from Vishram Ghat to Janmasthan, Krishna Janmasthan, Mahaprabhu had also chanted and danced. Now he's at Keshav Dev Mandir. And as he took darshan of Keshav Dev, Mahaprabhu became ecstatic, and he's doing his hunkar and roaring and chanting and dancing, and whole Mathura town is there to watch that scene, that dance and chant of Mahaprabhu. And then he was invited by one Brahmin called Sanodia Brahmin for Bhiksha, for lunch prasad. And as Mahaprabhu goes there and having his lunch, the crowd has followed. They're all surrounding that house. Some of them are even on the top of the house. And they say, "We want darshan, we want darshan, we want." So Mahaprabhu, well, kindly comes out and he says, "Hari Bol." Chaitanya Charitamrita, the hundreds and thousands of Mathuravasis, they are blessed by Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And then his stay, in fact, Brajamandal Parikrama of Vrindavan. So that was another very extraordinary thing, Mahaprabhu's kirtans. And one thing was, all the residents of Vrindavan, they were thinking that although this was Gaur Sundar had come, but they were thinking, our Shyam Sundar is back, our Shyam Sundar is back. So as Mahaprabhu is now going from forest to forest, Madhuban to Talban to Kumudban to Bahulaban to Vrindavan to Kamban to Bhandirban, then crossing Jamuna and 5 more forests. Oh, everyone was greeting Mahaprabhu as he was chanting and dancing, and Chaitanya Charitamrita describes how Mahaprabhu was inspiring everyone to chant and dance, and whole char achar, moving, non-moving entities were chanting and dancing, and cows were surrounding him, and the trees wanted to get his embrace, and this happening and that happening, and the whole Braj was excited and ecstatic. And Mahaprabhu at one point is looking at the peacock. The peacocks are dancing, though he's looking at the neck of the peacock, and the complexion of the neck of peacock resembles Krishna. Just by seeing that, Mahaprabhu remembered Krishna, and he was on the ground rolling, and these Prabhus, now there are 2 of them. One had come from Jagannath Puri and Sanodia Brahmin. They are struggling, they are quite task at their hand to catch hold of Mahaprabhu, the way he was rolling hither and thither, and finally they managed to catch hold of him, and they were shouting, how could he be brought to the external concept? Only way, this happened all the time, so many times. Only when Mahaprabhu would hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then he would come to external consciousness. So that is what happened here in one of those forests of Vrndavan, and the Mahaprabhu was up and dancing and singing, and so he has gone around. Jamuna also has greeted Mahaprabhu with the Jamuna is washing the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Jamuna also has flowers here for you, my dear Lord, lotus flowers, and he's crossing Jamuna, 5 more forests to go. He has covered them now. He wants to be in a secluded place, so he goes to a Akrur Ghat. What happened? And spends some time. And from there, Mahaprabhu would go to Kaliya Ghat side. And between Akrur Ghat and Kaliya Ghat, there used to be a Imli Tala, the tamarind tree from Krishna's times. And Mahaprabhu sitting down underneath that tree on the banks of Jamuna, and while chanting his Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, he became Radha conscious. He was full of Radha consciousness. And then what happened? He was no more I think he became Krishna conscious. Yeah, so he becomes Sham Sundar. He's no more golden complexioned. Radharani inside Gauranga. Antaha Bahir Gaura, Antaha Krishna. Krishna is inside, outside is Radharani. So that's why it's golden complexion. So here, underneath this tamarind tree, he has become Krishna conscious. So he's a Sham Sundar, like a form. And like that, now Kirtans are continuing, and he was getting in trouble. Mahaprabhu would go in ecstasy, and a couple of times he was slowing down. No external consciousness. He's in the middle of the river going down, and Balabhadra Bhattacharya, struggling to catch hold and bringing to the shore. Then it was proposed that this is dangerous. Let's go back to Jagannath Puri. So on the way to Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu is now in Prayagraj, and this was in month of January. There's a Magh Mela, like a mini Kumbh Mela every year. And this time of the year, there's no water in the river, but Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that the whole Ganga river bed was flooded with what? With the crest jewel of the holy name. He filled that with the nectar of the holy name. And this is where Rupa Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is where Rupa Goswami offered that prayer, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namaha. You are most magnanimous. And what are you doing? What is your Leela? You are magnanimous, that is your quality. And what is your pastime? Krishna Prema Pradayate. You are distributing Krishna Prema in the form of the holy name of the Lord. And what is your name now? Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne. Although you are Krishna, but now your name is Krishna Chaitanya. And how do you look like? Gaurat Vishayanama. Your complexion is Gaura, or golden complexion. So I offer my obeisances unto you, O Gauranga Mahaprabhu. This was a prayer of Rupa Goswami. And now, Mahaprabhu was in Bharat also earlier. And the Prakashanand Saraswati and company, his 60,000 followers, we are not appreciating what kind of sannyasi you are. You should be studying Vedanta. But instead you are just sentimental, you are singing and dancing and says, no, you will not find customers here in Banaras. This is a seat of learning Vedanta. But then Mahaprabhu in Shastrarth, in get together with his humility as he arrived on the scene for having a dialogue or debate, dialogue. He sat in a place where everyone was washing their feet, and that alone was enough for them to getting defeated. Wow, the humility! This is humility of Mahaprabhu, and there was a dialogue, and Mahaprabhu said, Guru, Mora Guru Murkha Dekhi. My Guru Maharaj, Ishwar Puri, he thought I was just murkh, fool. I'm not good for nothing. Forget the Vedanta study. I'm only good for chanting the holy names. My Guru Maharaj also, at the time of initiation, said to me, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying to Prakashanand, Harer Nam, Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Gati Ranyatha. So in that assembly, Mahaprabhu defeated Prakashanand Saraswati and his followers, and they all also started chanting and dancing all over Banaras and everywhere. And then Mahaprabhu is finally in Jagannath Puri, and his kirtan is, of course, always continues. I think we should remember that. Mahaprabhu every day would come for darshan of Jagannath, and then next he would go for darshan or to give darshan of Haridas Thakur in Siddha Baku. He was not allowed to take darshan. So Jagannath, Jai Gaur Sai Krishna Sai Jagannath. That same Jagannath is now Gauranga also. So he would go to Haridas Thakur's place and along with so many devotees, and the kirtans there, Namacharya, in the presence of Ram Namacharya. He is Acharya of the holy name. Mahaprabhu has given him name, Namacharya, Haridas Thakur, and those kirtans were also amazing, special, and finally Haridas Thakur departs and the kirtan was still on, and Mahaprabhu has lifted Haridas Thakur and he is singing and dancing, and they are also. So like that, this Mahaprabhu, and he predicts that this holy name will reach every town. Prathavite Achajata Nagaradi Gram, Sarvata Prachara Huibe Moranam. My name will be chanted in every town, every village of the world. And then comes His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. And then he's instructed to go to the West and spread the holy name. And now we know the holy name is everywhere. And those who receive the holy name, what next? They always think, I had to go to Mayapur. They get kind of two messages now, holy name and Mayapur, holy name and Mayapur. So from Nam to Dham, I keep saying this, Nam to Dham. And that Nam brings one back to home, back to Dham, back to Navadvip. So, and the circle gets completed. So, Narottam Das Thakur, I just quickly want to say, in Kechuri Gram, now this was quite some time after all Panchatattva members they are all departed, returned to their abodes. But now, yeah, the Narottam Das Thakur in Kechuri Gram, he organized first ever Gaur Purnima festival, and so many exalted Gaudiya Vaishnavas were there, Janava Mata there, and deity installation took place, and great kirtans were happening. And Narottam Das Thakur had a microphone. He was singing, and his singing was even attracted members of Panchatattva. And as we also hear, wherever my names are chanted, I appear there. Tatra naham vasami vaikunte yoginam cha hridaye yatra madbhakta gayanti tatra bhaktisthami narada. So that happened in Kechuri Gram. All the members of 5 Panchatattva members were all there chanting and dancing in the middle of the big crowd that assembled there to celebrate first ever Gaur Purnima festival. And now it is our turn to celebrate Gaur Purnima festival. Srila Prabhupada has
Kirtan Mela, right?
Kirtan Mela also, yeah.
That was the first Kirtan Mela. So now we're coming to the next. Thank you so much, Maharaj. You've led us through Kirtan after Kirtan after Kirtan after Kirtan. You really have shown us how the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is just one Kirtan after another. And how does it end also? Shikshashtakam.
Oh, right.
Param Vijayate, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I wanted just to mention that the Kirtan continues, and through the work of your new ministry, joined with the Mayapur team here, there'll be Kirtan Mela, not just here in Mayapur, but it'll be online too.
108 hours non-stop Kirtan.
108 hours. Hare Krishna.
108 hours, day and night. When it starts, only stops after 108 hours.
Hari Bol. So I just we put kirtanministry.com is where to find out more information about that. You'll have how you can join and continue the Kirtan. The Kirtan was spread all over the world by the work of the service of the devotees. Do we have any questions here? Let's see. We have a lot of appreciations, but you've been so complete that the devotees are feeling very satisfied and happy. So I think this is, here we have. Please share how Srila Prabhupada took on him Lord Chaitanya's mission to spread all over the world. Yes, that's what he did. How did the movement begin? What did Prabhupada do when he came to New York?
Kirtan.
Kirtan.
One thing that Prabhupada said was, in South India, why did Mahaprabhu not spread the holy name outside India? Why only in India he spread? And Prabhupada said that Mahaprabhu left that job up to me, up to Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada,
that's right,
to spread the holy name beyond the boundary of India.
We have a question here. You're speaking from Pandharpur. So there's a question about Tukaram. and how Tukaram, he also, I mean, kirtan, he's also spread kirtan, right? All over Maharashtra.
Yes. It's most of these Maharashtrian saints are into kirtan, and Tukaram Maharaj was no exception. He was leading kirtaniya, and Srila
Did
Prabhupada
Mahaprabhu
compares
fire him?
kirtans.
They met, correct?
No,
Mahaprabhu
they
met
did not meet.
No.
No. Yeah, Chaitanya Tukaram Maharaj says that he was initiated in the dream by a person called Raghava Chaitanya, Keshava Chaitanya gave him mantra in the dream. Because they're not contemporary. They're not contemporary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Maharashtra and the Vitthal Pandurang Pandharpur Bhakti is full of kirtans and bhajans.
Yes. Jai, Sankirtanam. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We've had such a wonderful time, and I'm looking forward to more and more kirtan. Just another advertisement for kirtan ministry. Every Ekadashi, there's Shravana Kirtanam festival, Utsav, with kirtan going on, and japa. So please, everybody, visit the kirtan ministry, get connected, sign up for the mailing lists, learn it, get onto their websites, and of course, get onto our website, gbcspt.com. Share this with everyone. Join our mailing list. Share this on YouTube and on Facebook. So any closing words, Maharaj, anything you'd like to share as we close?
Well, the last verse of Chaitanya, the Bhagavatam talks also of the holy name. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. This is a 18,000th verse of Bhagavatam, which also talks about the holy name of the Nama Sankirtanam Yasya, Nama Sankirtan. And then I was thinking that the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita is also talking about the holy name.
That's true.
Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Leela, chapter 20, is entitled Sikshastak. So here, there's only one verse in Bhagavatam, ending verse, one verse is glorifying the holy name, which is the essence of Bhagavatam, is the holy name. And then the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which Prabhupada calls as the postgraduate study. The Bhagavatam is a graduate study. The graduate study is the syllabus. There's one verse at the end. But in the postgraduate study, there's a whole chapter, entire chapter, which is glorifying the holy name. And that is Sikshastak. Yeah. And not only there's a Sikshastak, but Mahaprabhu himself has given commentary on each of those astak.
Yes.
I would humbly appeal to all the listeners or audience here to study that chapter thoroughly, which glorifies the holy name, Sikshastak. And the Mahaprabhu has given bhashya, commentary on that Sikshastak. And well, those are the 8 instructions of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He did not write personally. He only wrote or compiled these 8 verses. And they are talking about the holy name. The topic is a holy name. Yeah. The crest jewel. The holy name is the theme of that chapter. And Mahaprabhu glorifies holy name like anything in those
Krishna
verses.
Varna Pisha Krishnam Sango Pangashtra Parshadam Jagai Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Simedasha. This is Sri Krishna Chaitanya's mission to give us this crest jewel, breaking open the storehouse and taking out the most valuable things and giving it freely. So thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for inspiring us and enlightening us. And we look forward to sharing more and more with you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And we'll close here and have a wonderful day or evening. Hare Krishna.